So a little over a month ago, I got myself an iPhone 13 Pro. Been using it a lot because it's the camera that I have with me all the time. And to my surprise, I quite like it. This year's ultra-wide angle lens is at f1.8, which is better than last year's iPhone. And I find myself using the ultra-wide angle lens more than ever before, whenever I'm in a more well-lit situation. And plus, it also does macro as well. Now, the macro function is a lot of fun to play with, and it has that wide angle feels to it. Unlike the traditional macro lens that we see with longer focal length, the macro photos out of the iPhone 13 Pro, it's remarkable. Consider that it's coming out of a phone. But honestly, after a while, it gets kinda dull. And I see it as a bonus on top of its camera. I've been using a lot of the wide angle lens because that's the best lens on there. But recently I find myself using more and more ultra wide angle and even the telephoto a lot more than I expected. The ultra wide angle lens gives that fresh feel which covers the grand schemes of things in the frame that you normally don't see, and it challenges me to compose differently from time to time. As for the wide angle lens, it's at f1.5, which means it's gonna let in a lot more light into the lens, and also makes it a better lens choice when you're in a low light situation. And the telephoto lens runs at about 77mm, which provides that extra reach and pulls the subject up close without including all the other distractions around it. Simple and easy, don't even need to zoom in with my feet anymore. All in all, I feel like the ultra wide angle lens and the telephoto lens doesn't look too shabby at all. It's really nice to have options, especially when it's so easy to switch lenses with just a tap on the screen. It's just incredible. Now this is where it gets kinda tricky, because being able to switch lenses so effortlessly makes me lazy, and I'm afraid this is going to affect how I shoot in the long run. Hopefully not in a bad way. But with that being said, all of that are just in my head right now. So I'll just have to monitor myself closely and see what happens. Now here's a quick casual photo shoot that I did with my friend by just using the iPhone 13 Pro. All of these photos are taken with ProRAW, and I edited them in the Lightroom app on my phone using my own presets, and the result, it's actually a lot better than I expected. Besides the telephoto lens, personally I really like how the ultra wide angle and the wide angle lens turned out. I think both of them yields pretty great results.
Hang on, don't just Photoshop me over there. Okay, ready? Take the picture and then throw me over there.
I was able to strip that smart HDR look from the photo taken by a phone, which makes the photo more unique and usable, even though turning off the smart HDR isn't a function anymore on the iPhone 13 Pro, which kinda sucks. But nevertheless, I feel like the photo turned out pretty well. Like a lot better than I expected. I know it still looks and feels a bit different from an actual camera, but this is more than decent in my opinion. Using ProRAW opens up a lot of opportunities where it retains more dynamic range, so you can work way more in post. And this is how I shoot whenever I go for a photo walk. I'll keep the ProRAW on and switch between the three lenses, whichever one that makes the most sense for the photo that I have in mind. Looks like a tiny house. Wait, is it really? It looks like, wow. Oh, this one looks awesome. It's like those kind of houses where you see in the movies or like in Netflix. If you're upgrading from anything other than the iPhone 12 Pro Max, then you'll see a massive improvement with the cameras. All the lenses have sensor stabilizations, and it's really fun to use them in different scenarios. I feel like with every upgrade, Apple has been able to close that gap between an actual camera and the computational photography and videography. But how close can I get in the future? Really interested to see how this computational thing will evolve. So here's an occasion that I find the iPhone's camera very useful, and that is to take casual photos or portraits of your friends and family. I'm the type of guy who brings a camera with him pretty much all the time, even to like different events or family gatherings. But when your subject is not comfortable in front of the camera, it's kind of hard to capture those candid moments or even just a smile. But instead, with the phone, I'm harmless. No one takes it seriously. This is also kind of like using our phone for street photography. I'm just a guy taking photos with his phone. I find my friends and family more at ease whenever I'm taking photos of them with the phone. And this is great because using ProRAW, I can actually play around with the photos a lot more compared to just a regular phone photo. There are times where I would just drop the photos that I've taken with my phone into the Lightroom app for a quick edit and then airdrop the photos to my friends and family right on the spot. I know, extremely fast turnover rate. Definitely not a masterpiece, but a nice little heartwarming moment that counts. And I feel like the best part about this is that it bridges between the differences and awkwardness from an actual camera with your family, with your life, by just using the phone's camera where I can do so much with the camera. I feel like being able to capture different candid and casual moments like this by just using a phone instead of a camera, pointing your camera to anybody who's not ready for a camera in front of their face. This is a great way to bridge that gap and really connect our lives together.